Hello everyone and welcome to the Body Acceptance Challenge. Today we're going to focus on maybe practicing some balance. So we'll start by standing in a space that is comfortable or comfortable-ish for you. So your feet could be close together, they could be wider apart, they could be really wide, whatever feels best in your body. I like about hips width, maybe sometimes a little bit wider. And then think about trying to balance across all areas of my feet. I'm engaging my butt muscles and my core and breathing here. Maybe you want to close your eyes. Taking a few breaths in this strong, sturdy stance. And then maybe thinking about putting all of your weight, leaning all of your weight into the left leg. So we're not doing a big movement with our body, but we're just thinking about balancing our weight on that right side. Noticing how that feels different than when we were standing equally. And then we'll do the same thing on the opposite side. Coming over to the opposite side, leaning all the weight into the left leg, noticing if it feels different, what you notice, and then we'll come back to equally leaning against both legs. Let's take a breath. Maybe you want to think about leaning forward. And then maybe coming back to neutral and then leaning back onto your heels and leaning forward onto your toes. Notice how this feels for you. I don't like to do this with my eyes closed. You can if it feels comfortable for you. I feel like I'm going to face plant. And then maybe we shake that out. We can come to do some calf raises. So option to hold on to something, maybe a wall or a chair. Starting by lifting up one toe or one heel, leaving the toes on the ground. And then you can do the opposite. You can alternate. This chair is not really tall enough for me to hold onto, so a lot of times I go onto the wall. And then maybe I'm going to try both at the same time. Raising your heels. We're building strength in our calves as we do this, as well as finding balance in our body. And then an option to keep going up and down, or we'll hold it for a couple seconds or a couple breaths at the top. And you can hold something while you do this. You can have your hands out to the side. You have them at heart center. Breathing, because you can see I'm wiggling. And then lower it back down. I'm going to shake that out. And then we'll come to stand. I like to have a chair here for this. You don't have to have one, but if you do, stay a couple feet away from it. I'm going to start on my right side, tapping my right toe back behind me. So toe taps. You can go like a little bit back or a little bit further back, whatever feels better. And then we'll switch sides, tap toe. Another option is, as you tap your toe back, raising the opposite arm. So I'll tap my right toe back and raise my left arm. As we do this, we're balancing our weight onto that opposite leg. So my left leg is balancing the weight here. If you've done a few, maybe you want to switch sides. Maybe you want to add in kick up towards your butt. So I'll go back to my right side. I'm going to raise my arm out. Option to hold here. Hold something. So as I raise my arms out, I'm kicking my butt back. Instead of doing that tap back, I'm kicking my butt. And so if this, you try it, you don't like it, you want to go back to the tap, that's great. All of these options work on balance. And then we'll try the other side after you've done a few. So leaning that weight into the opposite leg, kicking up. Doing a few of these. And then the next step, if you want to keep going, your choice is to add in your hand of the same leg you're kicking, putting it in the direction of that foot. So I'll show you what I mean. Here, you might want to hold something to start. I'm going to kick out my foot and then take my hand and bring it in the direction. You don't have to touch your foot. We're just putting them towards each other. And then we'll do the opposite one. This time, maybe you want to add in the arms, the opposite arm. So as I'm lifting one arm up, I'm taking the other arm back and kicking up. So there's a lot of things going on, so you choose if you want to continue them all or you want to stay with one of the versions we were doing before. I'm going to try and do about 4-ish on both sides. I always approximate. Not great at counting. But if you want to count how many do you do on each side, you go for it. And then shake that out. If you have a strap or a scarf or a belt or a dog leash, anything, you can put it around one foot. So I'm going to put it around my right foot. And I'm going to hold it down about like in the middle of my shin maybe. And an option to lift up that foot. So see, I'm holding on to something while I do this. I'm now lifting up my foot towards my butt. And the option to hold here or raise that opposite arm. And we're breathing here, and this is our dancer pose. Take a couple breaths, and then we'll let that go. And we'll do the same thing on the opposite side. So putting your foot through a band, holding on to it, maybe holding something for support, lifting up your back foot, and option to raise that opposite arm. Here we are. We have our dancer pose. You can also keep your hands down or on something, and then you let that go. So take a second, play around with that. This is something you can practice in the middle of the yoga flow, or you can practice on your own. I practice dancer a lot, actually in my kitchen. While I'm like waiting for something in the oven, I hold the counter and I hold the stove, and I intend my hand and foot towards one another in practice. So we'll take a breath. Wherever you are, maybe you want to bring your hands to your heart. Thank yourself for practicing, for maybe trying something new, taking a new pose, working on balance, which might not be your favorite thing. Thank you so much for practicing today, and I will see you tomorrow.